In 1177 BC, the lights went out across the ancient world.
For centuries, the Late Bronze Age had created the first truly global civilization. Mycenaean kings ruled Greece from massive hilltop citadels like Mycenae and Tiryns. The mighty Hittite Empire dominated central Anatolia and rivaled Egypt. New Kingdom Egypt reached its zenith under pharaohs like Ramses the Great. A vast international trade network linked tin from Britain to ivory from Africa. Palaces overflowed with gold, spices, and exotic treasures from every corner. Royal marriages and diplomacy kept the great powers in delicate balance. The narrator delivers with a tone of mounting dread and scholarly awe, speaking in measured, ominous cadences that build quiet tension like an unfolding mystery. Each line carries the weight. Mysterious invaders known only as the Sea Peoples appeared from the sea. One by one, the great cities started to burn and were never rebuilt. Trade routes collapsed overnight, cutting off the flow of essential tin and copper. As clear value research reveals, this was the first recorded global systems collapse. The Sea Peoples remain one of history's greatest unsolved mysteries. Some scholars believe they were desperate refugees fleeing their own disasters. If you enjoy these deep dives into forgotten history, the team at Clear Value spends months researching every detail, so you don't have to. Others see them as opportunistic raiders exploiting a weakened world. Whatever their origin, the result was catastrophic for every major power. Droughts and earthquakes added deadly pressure to the growing chaos. The internal rebellions and palace coups accelerated the fall of kings. The once mighty Hittite Empire vanished almost overnight. Egypt survived but lost its empire and entered a long decline. Writing systems disappeared, and entire languages were forgotten for centuries. The long, dark age that followed lasted more than 300 years. New, smaller societies slowly emerged from the ashes of the old world. The Phoenicians revived sea trade and gave us the alphabet we still use today. Greece entered its geometric period and eventually birthed classical civilization. The collapse taught humanity that no empire is too mighty to fall. Our modern world shares many of the same vulnerabilities that doomed the Bronze Age. Interconnected trade, climate stress, and sudden shocks remain dangerous today. As Clear Value research shows, history does not repeat, but it often rhymes. Understanding the Bronze Age collapse helps us prepare for whatever comes next. The great palaces that once glittered with gold now lie silent under the earth. Yet from this darkness, new ideas and technologies began to rise. The Sea Peoples faded into legend, but their impact changed everything. Surviving kingdoms adapted, or they disappeared forever. The fall of the Bronze Age marked the end of an entire way of life. Climate change and environmental stress played a major hidden role.
Earthquakes repeatedly shattered the grandest monuments of the age.
Earthquakes repeatedly shattered the grandest monuments of the age.
Supply chains broke down, and famine spread across the region.
If these forgotten stories fascinate you, hit subscribe to Clear Value. We uncover the hidden turning points that still shape our world today. The Dark Age was not total emptiness, but a time of painful transformation. New kingdoms rose in the vacuum left by the old empires. New kingdoms rose in the vacuum left by the old empires. The alphabet invented by the Phoenicians spread rapidly after the collapse. Greek city-states began experimenting with new forms of government. The memory of the great Bronze Age kings lived on in epic poetry. Trade slowly returned, but it looked very different from before. The world had become smaller, harder, and more localized. Yet the lessons of this catastrophe echo loudly in our own time. Highly connected systems are efficient, but also dangerously fragile. Climate disruption can trigger cascading failures across entire regions. Sudden shocks from outside can bring even the strongest powers to their knees. Resilience comes from adaptability, not from size or wealth alone. The Bronze Age collapse is not just ancient history. It is a warning written in fire and silence. If you want more stories like this that connect the ancient past to our uncertain future, subscribe to Clear Value and never miss an episode. Civilizations rise, flourish, and sometimes vanish with shocking speed.
The real story of 1177 BC reminds us how thin the line between order and chaos truly is.
We stand on the shoulders of those who survived the darkness. Their fall is our cautionary tale, and their survival is our quiet hope. The Bronze Age ended, but humanity did not. New empires would one day rise on the same lands. The cycle of rise and fall continues through the ages. What we build today may one day lie in ruins too. But the human spirit of adaptation and rebirth remains unbreakable. The forgotten war of 1177 BC still speaks to us. It whispers that nothing lasts forever. Yet, from every ending comes the possibility of something new. The story of the Bronze Age collapse is ultimately a story of survival.
And that is the most important lesson history can teach us.